Good evening. Way. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the stone the builders rejected. The stone the builders rejected. And this stone that I'm talking about is not necessarily a physical stone, but more so how would I put this? It's not a physical stone, not a stone in the sense of gravel and concrete. We're talking about a stone that is not made by hand. The stone the builders rejected. And the reason I'm talking about this in this fashion, this manner, this way is because in my readings and the things I come across in Freemasonry, it all symbolizes the symbolism is so broad. You're not able to put it in just one fashion or another. It can't be uh, held. It goes on and on and on, and the more you read, it goes this way, that way. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the stone, the builders rejected, and it is a stone that is not made by hands. And when I say that, I'm clearly saying and looking at us as a people in this thing we call Freemasonry. We say that in Freemasonry, we're looking to make a good man a better man. And, and in the process in doing that, that person discovers who they are in that process. In Freemasonry, we say that in everything that we do, we should always invoke the blessings of deity. And we don't give a name necessarily to deity, we just say deity. And in the process, we're saying in the name of the grand architect of the universe. And in saying that, that is inclusive and not exclusive. Um, and in bringing together men from all walks of life. So, in looking at that, the stone that the builders rejected is not a stone that is made by hand. And it's going to be shocking to you how I'm going to break this down. Now, some people may not be ready for this, but I'm going to break this down to you in such a way till it's going to give you an aha moment. So I really want you to prepare yourself in this manner because it was something that was shared with me. It really gave me something to think about, and it gave me an aha moment. And if you understand the aha moment in Freemasonry, it is like eureka. It's that eureka moment, and and that's where it's at. And it's interesting. I would tell you that. Definitely allegories, but this is good. Yeah, definitely allegories. This particular stone that the builders rejected, as I've said before, that is not made by hands, is simply allegory, but the aha moment is going to be in the story that I'm about to tell you. And it's going to really make you think. Because a lot of us have our own ways of thinking in regards to Freemasonry, in regards to what we've been taught. Now, what if I told you that some things in Freemasonry that we have been taught have been left out? Because Freemasonry is different here than it is other places. And I have contact with people, individuals from various countries who would send me information in regards to Freemasonry, unlike here in the States. Um, and it's different. So I'm going to share it with you this evening. And I really believe that you're going to get it in the process. You're gonna have that aha moment, and I want you to have it. I want you to have it. Yeah, I really want you to have it. So as soon as everybody started coming in, we started to begin and to look at some things. We'll be all right. We're gonna be all right. I like that song. We're gonna be all right. Yeah. So I'm gonna share this with you, and it goes a little something like this here. Okay. At the building of King Solomon's temple, one of the workmen had his lunch brought to him each day by his daughter. She would sit and watch him, and eventually she asked if she could try her hands at cooking. cutting a stone. At first, he thought she was foolish, for this was men's work. But she persisted, and so relentless, he showed her how to shape the stone. And soon became apparent that she had a very natural talent for such a work. While she was not as strong as the young man who was cutting the stone, she has much she had her own touch, and it was then the most. There wasn't much that escaped the knee high of Harriman Biff. There was not much that escaped Harriman Biff. As he oversaw the works, he saw how the girl helped her father and how she improved day by day. And finally, Harriman asked her father to bring her to a meeting of the workmen on the ground floor of King Solomon's temple. She feared that he would chastise her, but to everyone's surprise, he insisted that she be initiated as an inter-apprentice. No one dared to dispute the will of Harriman Biff, and it was done as he said. After the meeting, Odoram came up to him. Odoram came up to him, Harriman Biff, and said, "How could you do this? From time immemorial, only men have been initiated Freemasons. It again, all our landmarks. It goes against all our landmarks." Harriman Biff smiled and said, "It wasn't my idea. God made her a Mason. I just agreed to help her improve herself in masonry." That was posted on a video I did in regards to female Freemasonry from someone, and I thought that was unique. So I started looking at the stone the builders rejected. Who sits in the northeast corner of the lodge? We're talking allegories. We're talking about a stone that is not made by hand. So let's look at this thing we call Freemasonry. And we say that we cover the east, the west, and the south, but for some odd reason, we often say there's nothing in the north because of the building of King Solomon's temple and the way it's structured. Hardly any sunlight of the rays were able to penetrate the north side of the temple. But could it be in the north sit a female? Could it be that she was a stone that the builders rejected? Could it be because of Harriman Biff wanting to initiate her as an inter-apprentice that she was rejected and put out? And could it be because we say in our OB some of those things that we say? Could it be? Could it be that the female that was at the building of King Solomon's temple per se, I don't know how true it is, but it's worthy of thinking about, was rejected because she was able to cut and hew her stone just as good as any other mason, but not as strong enough to move it? Could that be the reason why we say that no female can be a mason? Is that I don't know. I'm asking a question. The stones the builder rejected as far as in Freemasonry, because we talk about a rough Ashley and perfect Ashley, how we're supposed to be taking our lives in an allegory sense and shaping and forming to become perfect as we grow in this thing we call life. From sun up to sundown, we're supposed to have made some progress in becoming perfected. However, we know that the road is rough, because we learned that in the Royal Ark degree that we travel the rough roads. We cross over Jordan River. We are lowered into a cavern or a cave, and we discovered that famous name, and we pull it up and we're like, wow, this is what I discovered down there. And we know that it has some particular writings on there. Could it be that the female Mason is that stone that was rejected? I'm just asking a question. Now, if you want to call in and have that conversation tonight, the number is 619 286 0642. Yes, new era, females derogatory, bruh. Hey, this is open topic, bruh. I'm just throwing it out there. I just want people to think, because the way we practice masonry here in the United States is not necessarily the way it's practiced all over the world. So I'm just throwing it out there. Now I would tell you this in regards to my jurisdiction, that no, we don't allow females to become masons in our jurisdiction. It is what it is. That's our custom. That's what we practice. However, that replace us. And who's to say that who's to say that we are so right? That is a nice topic. The stone that's rejected. And I want to send a big shout out to my brothers in Mississippi, John G. Jones, number 1903, in Venice, Mississippi. I want to send a big shout out to their Grandmaster Stephen Smith and the work that he's doing there. So, with that being said, holler at me tonight, 619 286 0642 is the call-in number if you want to get some of this. And you know, we can have that conversation. It's a conversation. This is not something that we're going to say it is, whether it's true or not, because nobody really knows, but it's something to actually think about. You know, why we do the things we do here in the United States versus other places around the world. You know, why do we do that? And I'm open. You know, I'm open to having that discussion. And I see that some of us kind of want to shy away from it, but it's a good topic. Come on now, don't be shy now, because it makes you think. Let's look at, even when you look at the beehive, we talk about the stone. Well, let's look at the beehive then. Did any of us know that the beehive is a sacred to the goddess of Venus, and it's considered a sacred feminine symbol. According to the mystic of wheat, bananas, the bees are a form of life which comes to the earth from the planet Venus millions of years ago. Okay, and then it goes on to say, it celebrates the returns of life each year, which times the earth will bloom with flowers associated. Will bloom with flowers. The bees represent a rebirth, and because of their importance to pollinizing the flowers, the bees are an exceptional symbol of generative power. Okay, so think about that. The bees representing a female. Let me see what it says. A feminine symbol. Come on now. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying. But hey, you know, just something to think about. Just something to think about. Yeah, right, New Era King. Yeah, right. Femininity is met males only. Sorority is women only. Hey, bro, you won't get that argument out of me. You won't get that debate out of me. As far as when you talk about fraternity versus sorority, you won't get that from me. However, when you're talking Freemasonry, that's a different beast. And I say that because here in the United States, the rules are, in the United States, in some other Grand Lodges, that we don't accept female Freemasonry. That's just the rules that Grand Lodges here in the United States have adopted across the board, per se. But, however, when you leave outside of the boundaries of this nation, the United States, of this country, you will find it to be a much different atmosphere. That's all I'm saying. And I believe, and I will hope one day, that we understand that Masonry, as I've always said, is bigger than where we at. And you yourself today, knowing that there is a Grand Lodge already established for the females here in the United States, it's only going to get bigger. The question remains is when the Grand Lodge of England decides to say that, hey, we accept female Freemasons. They have already said that they was regular in their works. Okay, but they was irregular because they was females. What does that say? I'm just saying. But when I look at the stones that the builders rejected, not only am I looking at it from that point of view, I look at it from my own point of view. You know, and when I say my own point of view, I look at it from the point of view of being an African American, and how no matter how much we have done for this country, but how much we are rejected no matter where we go on this earth. So this subject can go any way you want it to go, but particularly I'm looking at it from an allegory point of view as far as Freemasonry is concerned, because the more you dig in a lot of stuff and the more stuff you find, you have those aha moments. You have those moments where you be like, God, really? All right, they say a nation can rise no higher than its women. So there's a possibility that there were those rejected stones. I'm just saying, bro. You, Vincent, Brother Vincent Gilmore, I appreciate you coming on. And to everybody who's coming on tonight, I want to just say thank you. If you want to call into the show tonight, I know I'm on a little late. That number is 619-286-0642. You're welcome to call in. And I enjoy your company this evening as we begin to look at this thing we call Freemasonry. So you're welcome to call in, and we're gonna have this talk tonight, because it's something that I was thinking about. You know, wow, what if that actually occurred? You know, now the thing is with me, now I look at everything from a not just I look at everything from an allegory point of view, not just a physical point of view, like this actually happened. That's just me. So I'm just throwing it out there. Well, it took 200 years for Prince Hall to be recognized by them, so it's probably taking women's 300 or so. We won't see it. I don't know, Brother Brandon Lewis. I don't know. I think we will see it, and that's going to be the shocker. Now, we may be men of age when it comes on. Greetings, Brother Dietrich. But I got this feeling that we're going to see it. And the reason I say that is because if the Grand Lodge of England has already said that they are regular in their works, that means that they have already seen the works of the female Masons. That's all that means. And then they come back and say, well, they're irregular because they're females. You see how that goes? So I personally believe that they have already seen the works just because of the letter that they put out. However, when I think about that, and I think about the contributions that African Americans have made across the world, Africans, period of people of my color have made across the world, and how often are we rejected, period, it makes me think about the stones the builders rejected. You know, am I a stone that people reject? I mean, allegorically speaking, you know, allegorically speaking, are we that stone that people reject more often than not? It's just something to think about. And I often think that way. That's me. You know, I look at it from that point of view. And it's something that we should really totally take a look at. Check this out. So we know that we have been trying all of our natural life since we have been a part of this country to be accepted and yet be rejected on all ends of the spectrum. Some of us get accepted. Most of us get rejected. So from that point of view, are we the stone that the builders rejected? Even though I read you something from a point of view of the building of King Solomon's temple, and how the young lady who brought lunch to her father, and she showed him that she can cut that stone just like he could, but the enter apprentices got kind of a little upset because they seen her work and how good her work was. She just could not move the stone because of the weight. I'm just throwing it all out there. So it's just something for us to think about as we journey this thing, as we journey through life through this thing we call Freemasonry. from sunrise to sunset, because we know that we're walking upon the level of time to which no traveler has returned. And the travelers doesn't have a male connotation to it, because we know that the sisters do a thing they call walking through the labyrinth of life, which has no condemnation to it. What it does is it tells you about this thing we call life and our journey that we have. Now, all of us are going to have these different ways that we get to our point in this thing we call life. Death is going to be the end point. Period. Death is the equalizer. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in, death is the equalizer. And if you know anything about your degree work, you know that those 8 emblems, I think it's 8 or 9 emblems of the Master Masons. You know one of them is the Sith, which deals in death, because we're going to be cut down in life. This thing is going to end. Now, what you do with it while you're here is the question. Do you continue to work upon this thing not made by hand, this body, to shape it into something that is uniquely perfect? How do we go about trying to make this thing perfect into that perfect Ashley, not that rough Ashley? How do we do that? And are we the only someone who take that and try to work with it? Are we? Are the male Masons the only one who does that type of work? I don't know. I mean, from what I've learned, from what I'm reading, from what I've come across in my journey as a Mason, my whole perspective has changed. If you'd have called me 20 years ago, I told you was crazy. But as we mature in life, we find, like a brother just posted, a nation rises no higher than the women. But even we know even in the holy books that they somewhat write women out of them. We know that. And in the process, as I've learned in this thing called masonry, we're dealing with energy. This is it doesn't have it is not based upon the energy as far good or evil connotation, unless you use it that way. And it goes all the way back to the stone that the builders rejected. As long as we as a people continue to be rejected, nothing is really going to happen great along the way in this world. Period. This is why I encourage brothers and sisters to go read their literature that they have in regards to the OES and Freemasonry. That is the important thing that we really have to look at. Go do it. And the more you indulge in it, you'll have those wild moments. Because I would tell you this also. The other evening when I was talking in regards to the appending bodies, those appending bodies are connected to the zodiac sign. If you don't believe me, go open your rituals. And you will see that they are connected to the zodiac signs. All of them. The ideal is so much information in regards to the works. To some of us, just it's a funny thing. Alex, what's up, bro? How you doing today? The stones were rejected by the overseers, and when the Masons wanted to receive its pay, he was labeled as an impostor. But King Solomon ordered a search for it, and it was found and used accordingly. Oh, that's ritual. Come out of the ritual, brother, just for a minute. Just come out of the ritual just for a minute. 9. I'm not going to say what I want to say about that number 9. When the architect, the builders rejected. We, the architect that the builders rejected. I will agree with that. I can see that. Hey, brother Terrell, what's up, brother? How you doing? Ain't the compass and square ancient? Yard? Yeah, it is. But I'll tell you this here. Hold on a second. The square And the compass also represents the male and female. And that which lies between that represents the womb. I mean, you can't get away from it. No matter how you try to run, you can't get away from it. You know, yes, the compass and square represents the male, female. All right. So check this out. As above, so below. Right. Oh man, I want to show you a picture so bad. Hold on a second. I think I may have it here. I don't have it here. Shucks, I lost. There was a picture I was going to show you. It was pretty explicit, but it's a beautiful picture though. It's a beautiful picture. Definitely a beautiful picture. Oh, you're Hindu. Okay, okay. All right. The number 9 is two-faced. Two-faced. All right. 9, upper self or lower self. Your choice. But they ain't ready for that. You know, a lot of people are not ready for that because a lot of people like living in lower self. Almost doubt, no doubt about it. Ancient Indian language. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Long ago, the beehive represented a feminine emblem. They was represented. They were seen as goddess. You know, that's what they were seen as. And if you get into your works, you can't deny that because it's in there. The process is when we find out, what are we going to do? What do we do with it when we find out? You know, and I just want to say welcome to everybody that's on tonight. Definitely welcome. I hope that you are enjoying the show tonight. Welcome everyone that's coming on. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So if you want to call in tonight, the line is open to anyone who wants to call in tonight. 619-286-0642. I apologize for coming on late but you know I got to do what I got to do. You know, got to take care of home first. And that's another thing. Brother Christopher Jackson often has said that, you know, as a brother Mason, you know, it is our job to make sure that we take care of home first. And when I say that, I say that seriously, you know, because I'm the example of a Mason. I'm speaking for me. Some may say you're not recognizable, but I am the example of a Mason. And I must carry myself as such. I am the example of a husband, a father. I am that example. And if I'm going to be that example to my daughter, my son, and to their friends, I want it to be one that they would say, well, damn, you know, he was all right. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I say that I'm the example. And we all are examples. Sisters, you are the example of a mother, a daughter, a wife, a widower, a sister, a friend. You are the example, sister. So you must carry yourself as such. And when you don't do that, and when people see you hit a hiccup in life, maybe they want to tear you down because you have that high standards. You know, you need to rise above and as Brother Lowe would like to say, you know, lower self, higher self. You need to bring yourself up. I was at a meeting in Vegas some time ago, and the brothers was going through their degree work, and I was shaking my head, and he was asking me, why was I shaking my head? Because my expectations. It is my expectations to, if you are a part of this jurisdiction and I'm coming to visit your lodge, and here you are, you shaky on your work, then the expectations. Where's your expectations? You know, where are they? You know, this stone that the builders rejected is because of the expectations. You know, sometimes people super exceeds the expectation, and people shit on them because they super exceed, because they're excellent in their work. People want to bring them down. That's in life. So, is the black man and woman the stone that everybody rejects? You know, is it that is the stone also considered the stone that is placed in the northeast corner that people continue to look at and reject? The stone. You know, I mean, we try to make it perfect and we hear it perfect. And as brother Felix, I'm messing up, bro. I'm sorry, brother Fitzgerald. He was putting in here in regards to the works as it is stated out of the ritual. But I want us to come out of the ritual and just think for a moment. You know, just think for a moment. You know, my apology, brother Fitzgerald. I apologize for messing your name up. But I want us to come out of it, you know, because this thing is bigger than where we're at. So this is what we have to do. This is why we have to think. Tonight's number is 619-286-0642. Illuminating light. You need to think there is more to life than your yard, bro. Oh yeah. You know what we do. You know, speaking of the yard, what do Muslims think they are doing when they kiss the black stone of the Kaaba, the house of Allah, the human body? You know? Yeah, that's another topic right there. You know. So as we look at this stone that the builders rejected, not only from a human race or a race of people, you know, the black man, the black woman. As we look at it as far as in Freemasonry, dealing with those females within the Eastern Star, within the Masonic order, but we somehow, I have a picture that would describe that perfectly, but I don't know what I did with the picture. I don't know. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. So, you know, as we look at that, I'm going to send a big shout out to King Solomon Grand Lodge, Ancient Free and Accepting Masons out of DC. Just want to send you a big shout out. Hope all is well with you and yours. Also want to send a big shout out to King David Grand Lodge out of Arkansas. Hope all is going well with you. Most wishful Joshua Grand Lodge and Naomi Grand Chapter. Want to, and to all the brothers of the craft and sisters of the order, a big shout out to King Solomon Grand Lodge out of from Alabama, King Solomon Grand Lodge, and definitely Mount True Light Grand Lodge here in California. Sending you a big shout out. Who else I want to send a big shout out to? I want to send a big shout out to International Free and Accepted Masons out of Georgia. How you doing? And Smooth Ashler Grand Lodge, PHO out of Georgia. Just sending you a big shout out too. St. James Grand Lodge of Illinois, Ham Grand Lodge of Illinois, St. John's of Illinois, William T. Grand Lodge out of Mississippi. Want to send you a big shout out. So I think that's enough shout outs for tonight. You know, I was just looking at my book like, dang, let's send some shout outs tonight. So here we are, talking about that stone rejected. I need to hear from you. I need to know your thoughts as I read your comments. They're very interesting, you know. And we need to realize that the way we do things here in the States are not necessarily done anywhere else. So if you are a traveler, if you are a Mason, you got to begin to see things a little bit differently than where you at. Because if you're going to always see things to where you at, you're going to be limited in understanding Freemasonry. It is just that simple. It is just that simple. So here we are tonight. We're going to be talking about the stone the builders rejected. You know, and let's look at this thing. Here's something else I need you to think about. Even though we've said that the bee is the feminine symbol, how many of you? I didn't even know. I'm just telling you. I didn't know that the bees, the bees was considered a feminine symbol of a goddess. I didn't know that until I was reading, and to come across that, and to know that now, gave me one of them aha moments. Like, damn, really. And then to read something that was pointed out to me as far as in that story in the beginning, what I was talking about, the stone that the builders rejected, could it have been a female Mason? it's it's tendernizing. You know, you be like, damn. Just think for a moment. Could that have actually happened? Just think for a moment. Are we as a color people, black people, hue, are we the stones that the builders continue to reject? What is this stone that everybody likes to talk about that they're trying to shape into a perfect ashlar? I remember as an intern apprentice, we give brothers stones and tell them to work on those stones to make them perfect. Now, I don't know how many others do that, but we do. You know, occasionally, you know, we get a stone and we give it to the EA and we say, hey, you know, you have to make this stone a perfect stone. It's your stone. It's either going to be accepted or rejected, but it has to be cut and hewed perfectly. You know what I mean? So think about that just for a moment. Just for a moment. I just need for us to settle down and just think about this thing we call Freemasonry and how broad it is. It is not just limited. That stone can also refer to our slaves. Yeah, ourselves, okay. And where we were building our temples. And we are not the polish and pleasing to God, but we are smoothing and polishing to make things pleasant and pleasing to the grand. Oh, okay, great. I likes that. I'm just catching up with some of these things that was written. Greetings to the East, Brother Lewis. Greetings. Oh, you said that's new to you. I hope you. Yeah. Brother Hawkins, if you want us to break down the stone the builders rejected, I can call and we can build on it deeply. Brother Illuminating Light, you know that you always have my line is always open to you. You know, you always welcome to call in, bruh. I have no problem with you calling in. This is it's just open, you know. You know how we get down. This is not something that is going to be locked down for any one person. This show is open. If anybody want to call in and have that conversation tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. Once again, that number is going to be for tonight 619-286-0642 is the call in number tonight. So if you want to call in, certainly you're welcome to do so. I'm not going to hold anybody back. I'm on pretty late already, and I'm 38 minutes in. So I'm not trying to hold nobody up or keep them up late. But you know, I just want to share information that I come across, and this is something that I came across that was very interesting to me, talking about the stone that the builders rejected, and how and how it can be different things. Even someone said in here earlier and brought it to my attention that it could be us as a people, sisters and brothers as a people that was rejected, and we continue to be rejected. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. It is what it is. So give a call, Freemason Unlock, if you're up and you're listening to the show. 619-286-0642. That's where we're at tonight. So it's interesting. I hope that it's becoming enlightened to some of us, and we can get down with it. We can definitely get down with it tonight. Just something to think about. And then, not only that, not only could that be the stone that the builders rejected, but as you continue to work on this thing that is not made by hands, we know the story about the building of the temple. How many of us have ever looked at how big that temple was? I mean, King Solomon's temple was not that huge. It was not that huge. It was the size of a tennis court. If you don't believe me, go read it for yourself. It was the size of a tennis court. And once you break down the diameters of the building and the cubic feet and all of that, it's the size of a tennis court. But it tells you how many people was working on that. And why was it? And why did it? Why was it? No nails of anything iron or metal was used on it. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Let me tell you this here from me to you. Anytime I'm on here and you want to call in, you're welcome to call in. I'm not holding no. Don't ever feel that you can't call in and have a conversation with me. You know.
Okay.
That's from me to you. If you want to call in and get in on this, brother, yes, you're welcome. No doubt about it.
All right.
So, what you want to add to it, brother? Bring it.
All right. Cool. So the stone the builders rejected, right?
Right.
This this is important to Freemasonry. Very important because it's a foundational symbol of Freemasonry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those who have taken the blue degrees, it's a foundational symbol. And for those who have taken the red degrees, the degrees of the chapter, the Royal Lodge,
Mm-hmm.
it's also foundational. So, we could get into that. Now, all right, let's go on to the Bible, right?
Right.
The Bible is a symbol of Masonry, regardless if you're, of whatever religious persuasion you are of,
Mm-hmm.
Freemason.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible is important to understand as a Freemason,
Okay.
period.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're using the traditions of the Bible to express Freemasonry.
Right.
So, you have a reference to the stone the builders rejected in Psalms, Psalm 118,
Mm-hmm.
verse 22, right?
Okay.
And this is mentioned in the Royal Lodge degree. It's
Mm-hmm.
also mentioned in the Master Mason degree, just more indirectly. But Psalm, the 118th Psalm, verse 22 says, the stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also mentioned in the Gospels in reference to Jesus Christ,
Uh-huh.
right?
Correct.
No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Hebrew phrase, the stone,
Mm-hmm.
Psalms 118, verse 22. In Hebrew, the phrase, rather, the stone the builders rejected is Haben Ma Su Ha Bon Min.
Oh, okay. 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 I'm listening to the symbols.
This is how you say it in Hebrew.
Okay.
Any brother, get your Tanakh, your Jewish Bible in the Hebrew, and read it. It's a fact. The phrase is Haben Ma Su Ha Bon Min.
Mm.
That's
That's
stone
very
the builders
close.
rejected.
That's very close.
Absolutely.
So in saying exactly that, we know that in the process of the third degree, that when they get to that site and they find
Right.
Haram Abiff, right?
Right.
We know that what you just said, what you just pronounced, is very similar to that word, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I've also learned that that word means that the door is open.
Allegedly. But
Okay.
let's stick with this phrase. The stone the builders rejected. Now,
Okay.
let's look at the Hebrew word for stone
Mm-hmm.
in the Bible.
Okay.
Right? The Old Testament is written in the Hebrew language.
Mm-hmm.
The New Testament is written in the Greek language. But of course, the New Testament is based upon the Old Testament.
Correct.
So, quote unquote. So, let's look at the Hebrew word for stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in the passage that I just mentioned, Psalms 118, verse 22. The stone the builders rejected.
Okay.
The word for stone there is Eben.
Repeat that word again.
Eben.
Okay.
So that word consists of three letters, right? In Hebrew, it
Mm-hmm.
consists of three letters. Aleph, Bet, Nun. Those are three letters.
Okay.
Aleph, Bet, Nun, right? In the Hebrew language has a meaning and also a numerical value. So that word.
Mm-hmm.
First, take those first two letters of the word for stone. In Hebrew,
Mm-hmm.
Aleph, Bet, that gives you the word father, which is Ab.
Okay.
English, you would spell it A-B.
Mm-hmm.
Ab, it means the father. It's similar in the Arabic language because Arabic language is the sister tongue of the Hebrew language. So, in Arabic, Ab is also the word for father, just as it is in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
So in the word stone, the first two letters give you the word father, right?
Okay.
Now if you take the second letter and the last letter, remember the word consists of three letters.
Mm-hmm.
Take the second letter and the third letter, you get the word ben. Bet noon. That's how you would spell it. So
Okay.
bet noon, ben means son in Hebrew. Right?
Okay.
And also means son in Arabic. Right?
Really?
Yeah. It's like, you know, those who are Muslims, if you're familiar with the language, you know that.
Okay.
Ab means father.
Yes,
You
I
know,
got
just
that
like
one.
with classical Arabic history, like Abu Bakr. You know what I mean? The Ab means the father.
Mm-hmm.
Ben means the son.
Okay.
So with the word stone, you have a combination, even though it consists of three letters, you have a combination of the Hebrew word for father, which is aleph bet, and the Hebrew word for son, which is bet noon. So you have father and son combined in the same word, which is eben,
Okay.
word for stone.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you study the story of Jesus, the Christ, of course, he's called the Son.
Correct.
He was one with the Father.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a verse. The verse is mentioned in the Royal Large degree, but he talks about how if the stone falls upon certain individuals, they will be destroyed, and if they fall upon the stone, they will be grinded to powder, stuff like this. But nevertheless, Jesus is referred to as being the stone in the Gospels. He's referred to as being the stone the builders rejected.
Correct.
The blue, see the symbolism of the rough ash or the rough stone, and the perfect ashlar or smooth ashlar, or the perfect stone in the second degree.
So tell me this here. So tell me this here. You being a part of co-ed Freemasonry per se,
Right.
and I don't know if you caught the first part when I first came on. I was telling a story about the female that was at the that was at the building of King Solomon's temple. Have you heard that one before?
Yeah, but remember though, there's certain aspects to that, but I'm saying this for Freemasons because you'll have certain religious schools of thought, right?
Okay.
And they'll refer to the verse, the passage I mentioned, Psalms 118 verse 22, and try to tell you, oh, this is what the stone means. It means this. It means the black man, or it means this, or it means that. Or all you have to do is go to the Hebrew language. The word that's used there is eben.
Okay.
Facts. The word is eben. It's spelled aleph bet noon. Right?
All right.
It consists of two words inside of that one word. Those two words being ab, aleph bet, which is the father, and bet noon. Ben, which is the son. So in the word stone, you have two words, the father and the son, combined into one word.
Okay.
So when you study the Gospels, there's no question about it that Jesus is referred to as being the stone the builders rejected. That refers you back to Psalms 118, verse 22. Now, as far as us as Masons, we have to keep in mind that we are taught that the stone, the Eben, symbolizes us. We're taught that from the first degree. We're taught that we can be likened to a rough stone, right?
Correct.
Or a rough ashlar, and that ashlar needs to be worked upon with the tools of the nth apprentice and perfected through the tools of a fellow craft mason, the level, the square, and the plumb. So the whole point being that the stone, the union of the Father and the Son, meaning God and man. I'm not saying Jesus per se,
Right, right.
because Mason's already teaching us that we are the stone. It's not telling us that it's Jesus. It's saying that, listen, from the first degree, you are a stone. You can be likened to the stone.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be worked upon. So when we do the work of masonry and we become divinely illuminated, when we realize that, oh, the letter G
Mm-hmm.
is really in the center of us. God is to be found inside of you.
Well, you know that goes
And,
back to that scripture. Where's the kingdom of heaven? I mean, it tells you exactly
right.
where it's at, but most people are dying to get there.
Ooh, yeah. Ah,
I'm just saying, most people are dying to get there. But if you would just settle down for a minute and go back and realize even some of the things you're saying in regards to being that
uh-huh.
rough stone and shaping yourself into that perfect stone, realizing that the kingdom or the keys of
Uh-huh.
heaven relies within you. And
Absolutely.
realizing that you have the power to do the very thing that you claim that you want to do. The ideal is putting in the work or putting in the energy
Yeah.
to make that a reality, because if you don't put the energy into it, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. It's just going to be a dead dream per se.
Right. So the Jesus character says, like as you stated, I believe that's in Luke, the kingdom of God is within you.
Uh-huh.
So when you understand what Mason is teaching us, telling us what the stone the builders rejected is, and then when you understand the substitute word of a master mason, which I'm not going to say, but I can definitely tell you that alludes to that phrase, Eben Ma Su Ha Bon Nin, stone the builders rejected.
I likes
It
that.
tells you that you will find that the Christ is in you, and that's one of the secrets of masonry. And this is why every brother who has gone through the master mason's degree to be raised, right?
Right.
They know what do you think the lodge is teaching us?
But see, we could sit here and say that. We could sit here and for those who are on tonight and say, okay, this is what's happening. But a lot of brothers and sisters, even in their OES work, don't get that. They don't get that teaching. They don't get that round that teaching. I mean, because look at it.
Right. Of course not, bro. All I'm saying is that every brother will have to admit to himself,
Mm-hmm.
if he's mindful of what he went through,
Mm-hmm.
why was I raised from the dead? Why was I raised from the grave?
Right.
Even if some of the rituals tell us that, oh yeah, you were buried in the unfinished holy of holies, regardless of the fact.
Uh-huh.
Why was I raised? Why did I imitate the greatest man to have ever lived, quote unquote?
Mm-hmm.
Hiram Abiff. Why was I raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular?
And brother,
I part the fellowship, a strong grip of the lion's paw.
okay, and saying that, I'm gonna go back to something brother Terrell just said. He said, "Didn't God say, heaven on earth? When did He say, a place in the sky?" Well, there's two things that are happening. Okay, so He said that He would ascend, and there will be a He gives you this figure about how He will ascend from heaven, and then there will be a place. Where is that at? I want to say it's in Revelations in regards to He's speaking about Israel and how long and how big, how wide it would be when He comes. When He comes, sheesh, I can't even think of where it's at now. I know
Yeah,
it's
but
in.
it's still it's in Revelation. Brothers
Okay.
should read it. It's not a hard thing to do. Like go into the book of Revelation.
Uh huh.
Even when Revelation tells you, the Scottish Rite goes more in detail as far as that,
Mm-hmm.
with the degree of Grand Pontiff. But read Revelation, and it'll tell you who could open the book of the seven seals.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
Mm-hmm.
slain lamb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And besides mentioning this character who could open the book of the seven seals as being a slain lamb, it also Buddha,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we see the same thing in masonry. Like we wear the lambskin apron,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which
Mm-hmm.
represent the Christ nature of ourselves.
Hold on, time out just for a second. I wanna shut something down real quick, brother. Brother Bay, you know, um, in regards to brother Freemason Locke, I invited him on the show, and I can learn something from him. So for him to come on and give me some instructions or maybe enlighten me on some things, he's certainly welcome to do that. If you want to call into the show yourself, you're certainly welcome to do that. He's not trying to take over anything if I invite him to come in and to teach and shed some light on some things, because nobody knows everything, but everybody can learn something from somebody. So don't post that, bro. I mean, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But this is open to everybody. This platform is not just
Listen,
a John G. Jones.
this is keeping it real.
This
If I was
platform
to
is open
say,
to everybody, bro.
if I was to say, like, Noble Drew Ali was the truth, he'd be happy. You know what I mean? We know this. Like, that's what it is, man. Masonry is teaching Islam, bro. And then he'll be happy. He'll be clapping. You know that already.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you know.
I don't know much about brother. Who's that?
He has the name Bay.
Yes.
I can tell you that. He's a member
Rashid.
of the Moorish Science.
Okay, brother Rashid Bay. I don't know if I don't know.
Trust me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I had said that, man, Islam is the real Masonry. He would be clapping.
Okay.
He would be applauding.
Mm-hmm.
But someone the builders rejected.
Well, okay. Your apology is accepted, brother Bay. Rich Bay, if you want to land something you need to share, you want to share, you're certainly willing to do that. I don't anybody off. It's kind of early on the West, but this is how we get in. So let's move on, and I appreciate you, brother Bay. All right. Go ahead, bro.
And he was, every brother that's really a Mason
Uh-huh.
of ancient philosophy, known as the law of polarity,
Okay.
tells us that the universe is composed of opposites, that all opposites are essentially identical in nature, right?
Okay.
So, opposites are relative. Like, for example, in continental Masonry, the riddle of an entered apprentice Mason is what is better, light or darkness. And we'll see that in the first degree of Freemasonry, we work upon the ground floor of King Solomon's temple, which is the mosaic pavement. It's composed of black and white squares, which symbolize opposites. Right? So Freemasonry teaches us at every step that a female are positive and negative forces. Just like when we're taught that the three lesser lights of the lodge are the sun, the moon, and the master of the lodge. And that just as the sun rules the day and the moon governs the night, so must the master of the lodge rule and govern his lodge with equal regularity.
Okay.
The master is us as individuals, not the individual that's sitting in the east, literally, that's said to be the worshipful master. The master is us as individuals, because lodge symbolizes us. So with the square and the compass is used in geometry to draw circles.
Correct.
That's what you use it for. As an architect, you use the compass to draw circles. So what does the circle represent? That which has no beginning and no end. Because the circle appears to have no beginning and no end.
Right.
You look at the circle, so that represents that which is eternal, the eternal part of ourselves, the immortal part of ourselves. That which has no beginning, no end. Now, if you look at the square, right?
Go ahead.
Principal angle of a square, a geometric square, is the right angle. A 90-degree angle, which is what the square, the Mason square, is used for. To construct 90-degree angles. So the geometric square represents the earth, or it represents that which appears to be flat.
Oh, okay.
Or fine.
Okay. Go back and repeat that. He says to represent what? That is to be what?
190 degrees. It's used to construct the geometric square. You know, the shape known as the square.
Uh-huh.
So the square symbolizes that which is finite. It represents the earth because the earth appears to be a flat plane.
Okay. And you know you got some that really believe that, but going out there, but I got you.
Round the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in regards to the sun. So the square, as far as the emblem of Freemasonry is concerned, the square symbolizes the below,
mm-hmm.
and the compass symbolizes the above.
Correct.
Or in other words, the square symbolizes the physical, the compass symbolizes the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And Masonry teaches us that those two are to be in union. But
yes.
Again, to the apprentice Mason, both parts of the square cover both parts of the compass to symbolize that the end to the apprentice Mason is the physical man, the man of the five senses. For the fellow craft, one point of the compass is raised above one part of the square to symbolize that the fellow craft Mason is one who has become spiritual.
Okay. So in looking at all of that and understanding the stone that is rejected, I know we've covered a lot, and understanding the esoteric side of that as far as being raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular, and understanding how that person is raised and breaking down that sacred word and understanding that it has a dual meaning, a dual meaning, and bringing forth and understanding that when one is whispered that word, the true understanding of the word, and bringing forth and bringing that to light. Because a lot of us who get initiated in this thing, we don't go back and look at those words that are given to us as we are being initiated, passed, and raised. We just take it with a grain of salt and say, okay, these are the words. But what do they really mean? Because behind the meaning of the word is where you're going to find Freemasonry at its best. This is where you're going to find Freemasonry at, because you've experienced the initiation, the passing, and the raising. The word themselves are what they are, the significant secrets of Masonry. Because if you notice on here, I never really get into the meanings of a lot of words. This is probably the first time we've ever broken down some things like this. But to understand it is where we're at, because a lot of times we don't do that in lodge meetings. We don't do that in settings. And brothers miss that out, and including the sisters, even in the Eastern Star degree work, because we know that they have they have 5 passwords that they have to remember. But how many times do they often get into understanding their works as far as those 5 passwords are concerned and those 5 degrees of their life? And this is what we're missing in Freemasonry and in the Order of the Eastern Star. We don't usually sit down and break this stuff down because we are so overjoyed and so happy that we're a part of something so great, till we miss the point of what it really is to be part of it. And so if we can ever, if we can, when we go to our meetings, and for those who are at the close of the meeting, and I would hope that it would be the same way across the board, but I can't say that. I can't vouch for that.
But the landmarks tell us what the senior warden, junior warden, and worshipful master symbolize. The sun. And the sun is the source of light and life. And
without it, everything dies. Absolutely.
In the physical world, so that tells us something about what our position is. You're supposed to be giving that light, as you stated, as far as lecturing, certainly. So, it's not that complex. And even with the symbolism of the stone, like I was speaking to a young brother recently, and I'm like, why do you think stone symbolizes you? Right? And he was saying how he
Mm-hmm.
You symbolize the stone. You know what I mean? Tell me
Right.
why. How can your true self be likened to a stone? How? You know? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not a bad thing if he can't figure it out. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what's going to ultimately lead to you becoming illuminated when you have to be able to think for yourself
Mm-hmm.
as a Mason.
What you need?
So if you can't think for yourself, stay in the church. No disrespect to the mosque. Stay in those places where people think for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell you what you should think. Where they tell you who God is. Where they tell you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't require you to think. They don't. They just tell you, man, regurgitate the information with you. So, with that, even with the stone, besides everything that we talked about in regards to the Hebrew, the Hebrew word for stone, which is important because the blue degrees deal with the Hebrew language.
Mm-hmm.
All of our passwords are Hebrew. All of our words are Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. But looking at,
must admit to that.
but going back to the stone, now the stone also can be hollow because we know that in most cases, for those Masons who have been to Cornerstone lanes, they are placed within the confines of that building. That's where they're placed at, and some of them are hollow. So the stone could be hollow. I'm just throwing it out there now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There's a lot to the stone, but the thing is too, we have to look at that. What you stated. That's
mm-hmm.
important, right? Study the qualities of stone and study yourself. For one, for certain with stone as being a substance, stone is almost immortal. That's one thing you'll notice about stone.
Right.
If you want to build something to last,
Mm-hmm.
you carve it in stone, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what the Egyptians, or the ancient Egyptians, and I'm going to say in particular the ancient Egyptian Freemasons, look at what they laid down, right? Over 3,000 years ago. In some cases, what the Egyptians built, some of those monuments go back to 10,000 years ago.
They still standing, bruh. They still
Right. And
standing.
what did they do? They carved them in stone.
Uh-huh.
Right? You're
Right.
not going to carve it in some other type of substance.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to last.
That's
Or
it.
stone.
Mm.
Stone is almost immortal, bro.
Well, you know what? Yeah. You can definitely say that. You can definitely say that. So look, we're gonna go ahead and close out for the night. I hope everybody has gotten some out of it because I've definitely learned a lot listening to you in regards to some of the things that you brought up, bro. And I appreciate you shedding some light. And like I tell everybody and anyone, if you want to call into the show, you're certainly welcome to do so. There's no certain limit of time where a person can call in, but if I have more than one person calling in, of course, we're gonna switch it over and make it happen. So, and that's how we get down. And by the way, if you have not text me your phone number and wonder why I have not given you a call back on something you have asked me about, is because I have lost all contacts in my phone. When you reboot back to factory, it's done. Your phone is swiped. It's out. It's over. So please, if I said I was going to do something for you and I have not done it, just hit me up, text me, and let me know. Brother Alex, before we go, I'm going to see what you just said. I did not learn that from the ritual. I learned a secret arts and parts and points, but I could see how the speaker can apply his. Oh, okay, all right, all right. Well, brother Alex, it was just how you pointed that out. That's why I said that, and I appreciate you pointing that out. Yep, I'm just reading. Damn, good show tonight. Oh yeah. Shout out to Freeman. All right. I appreciate it. Appreciate it to everybody that's coming on. We're gonna go ahead and lock it down tonight. Freemason Unlock, as always, I appreciate you coming on, shedding some light. And don't hang up. We're gonna talk a little bit more after the show. And what time it is? It should be about almost 12 o'clock where you at.
Yeah, over it's 12:15.
Oh, we. So I'm not gonna hold you long. I just want to hit you up for about 5 minutes. So don't hang up. All right.
All right.
So everybody, I appreciate you. You know what? I'm gonna try to come on a little earlier next time. Had some things to take care of, and always remember to put God first, take care of your family, and always remember your sisters in prayer as you kneel down tonight. Thank you. Keep your light on and stay out them bushes. I'm out.